for you, Werner. You mentioned the limitation of the lidar performance in fog condition. Which wavelength did you use in your simulation, and do you see difference if you compare with different wavelengths?
Yes. Is it working? Yeah. Okay. Both wavelengths. This is 905 and also 1400 nanometers. And the only difference between the two lidars is that we have in the shortwave infrared range far more energy. We can spend 50 times more illumination powers. It helps a lot, but that did not solve the problem. You have to think about a bit algorithmic work, and this is what I'm still missing.
I think I can add, Pierre mentioned here what the capability on the test track, in the test chamber of generating fog with different particle size. So it depends very much also on what type of fog conditions you have. So if you have very tiny fog, meaning big particles, maybe 10 micron or something like that, it doesn't matter so much because you have to relate the particle size to the wavelengths used. If you have a more inland fog, you have smaller particles, and therefore wavelengths is more of an issue. But the main results we have so far, it's very difficult question because you have to be clear on what conditions you're asking it for. But the main conclusion is that the more power you throw on the problem, the bigger it, meaning the more emitted power you have is beneficial, but then it has to be eye safe.
Okay, thank you. So let's see if we can have the beginning. So to all of you, so in your opinion, which countermeasures, for instance, the brightness reduction or additional light source activation, could a headlamp or maybe a rear light take beside the standard weather light pattern in order to improve the performance for ADAS in adverse weather?
I can start, I can add more, but this is a very difficult question, and I think it also points to the issue that the ADAS community and the lighting community has to cooperate, because we need to be able to compare with actual systems under actual conditions that are representative in order to find the right way to do it. We shouldn't just guess and shoot it from our hip. If it hasn't been tested, we don't know, and it hasn't been tested, at least not fully, so sorry, there's no good answer, but we need to work together.
Okay, thank you. And question for you, Pierre, for the Plasma platform. Are you able or aiming at generating spray effects and interaction with the ground?
For the moment, no, we are not able to give this kind of effect. But we are trying to think about a system to do that. The main difficulty for spraying effect is to know natural spraying effect, particle size, how it's move, and this is a part where the literature is not really important, and we need to make more development on that. But Jan-Erik, I think will complete my answer with his own.
Well, it's a very complex answer, but a complex question with it is no simple answer. But if I want to make a very simplified one, so the rain falling from the sky is not the main problem, it's the rain on the road being sprayed up by the vehicle in front is the main problem. So if you're alone on the road, unless you're in Madagascar or wherever, really torrential rain is not the biggest problem. But I'm very rarely alone on the road. It's usually someone in front of me causing problems.
And sometimes it's a wetting effect for some sensors also.
I just want to add one thing. This is not just looking on wet spray, look also to snow spray. If you go to the northern part, that's a tremendous problem. If you want to know more about spray, read our spray simulation paper. So you may learn new things.
Okay. Any question? Any additional question? No, not yet. In the audience, any Any additional question? Yes. Can you take the mic, please? Thank you.
You started your talk when you said that 2016 there was a promise that by 2020 there will be an autonomous car. What's your guess today?
Soon. No, I'm not allowed to say it. So maybe an Eric, but yeah, although you look pretty young, you will survive it.
I think it's another thing, what level and what ODD are you going to limit it to? So if you restrict the problem, it will be sooner, but if you follow Elon Musk or anything like that, his definition, well, it maybe take a bit longer time. Then don't hold your breath.
So it's interesting because depending on who you are listening to, you have two different views. And I would say the two extremes have been expressed lately. Elon Musk on one side, and the guy from Google, sorry, I don't remember the name. These are two different ways. But there is one word that I used, or one expression that I used, which is the operational domain. And therefore, depending on what you consider, the answer may be different.
Again, I want to say one word about some companies from America. They got the allowance to test their vehicles in California. It never rains in California, you know this song. But they are not allowed to test the system under adverse weather conditions, and this may cause some thoughts in your brain.
Okay. Any additional question? Just taking a look at the time. What I had, so first of all, Werner, you mentioned the training, and you mentioned that also, Pierre. The data sets, you have mentioned that you drove for 2 months, I think, 10,000 kilometers, but there are plenty of data sets which are available. Did you search through these ones in order to enrich your data?
Let me say 1, 2, 3. Yeah. We have really huge databases already for our ADS functionality. So the problem is that adverse weather is only a very small part of this huge database. That's the first thing. The second thing is you don't know whether you are recording. That's the next thing. So because you see fog, but fog is changing dramatically. If you drive 2 meters or 3 meters ahead, then you have a completely different fog because there's a strong influence of wind, sun, blah blah, and the environment. That's the second problem. You can't say what quality your fog, snow, or whatever is. Except you say, well, we will introduce some visibility measures and we will detect some contrast. And we thought about all the things, but we did not find any solution. So that's why we propose to make this bootstrap algorithm. So that's the only way to have enough data which helps you. That's one thing. The second thing, sorry for using so much time. You make these recordings with the old sensors, so maybe you will have new sensors, and then you have also an additional domain gap. You have trained your system with the old sensors, and now new sensors come up, so you can throw away the whole database.
I would like to add, which database does have, or several databases do have adverse weather with controlled or known conditions when they record it. I'm not aware of anyone except
that's our database. Because we record it, we have I think 1,500 frames from Euroweather Chamber, so we know exactly what we have. But this is pretty limited.
Yeah, but
to be honest.
Beyond that one, which ones are available? I'm not aware of anyone.
Okay, so that is a good question. So if anyone knows a data set with control conditions, in addition, I think everybody will be interested. So we have to close now and to leave the room to Paul-Henri Mata and his guests for the round table. So thank you very much. Let's applaud our speakers, and now let's hand over to